David Moore, Dallas Morning News. You talked before about how you felt the end of your first season here provided a bit of a springboard going into that next season and establishing your culture and getting everyone on board. Do you see some similarities with, I know you said that's a message you have to get across every year. Are you starting to see some similarities this year with how this team is finishing the season? Understanding the 2 games.
Comparing to year one?
Well, just as far as the message taking root with younger players and that sort of thing.
Definitely. I mean, you never really, fully, know where you are until you go through, the highs and lows of a season with any of your teams. And obviously the first-year players are the ones that, that have the biggest adjustment. But, yeah, it's hard to compare anything to the first year just because of everything that went on with the pandemic and, we just had things that, thankfully we haven't, hopefully never have to deal with again. So, but yeah, I think clearly culture and, it's something that's it's never the same. It's moving one direction or the other. So, and that's just why you guys just keep investing in it. And as new people come into your space, there's an education and a re-education process that you're always going through, and I think it clearly helps you when you go through the adversity of a season.
And I know in this stretch you've lost so many players, and we've talked to you about the guys who have stepped up, but some of your star players, how they persevered through this, such as like CD and Micah. What have you seen from them in this stretch?
Well, I mean, CD's just battles every. Name that tune. That's nice. I would have expected Christmas music, but we'll move forward. No, CD's been incredible, just week in and week out, to battle through and still, carry the role and the responsibility that he has for our offense. Mike obviously missed some time, but since he's been back, just the impact and really that, the opportunities he creates for others too. It'd be nice to see some holding calls, but other than that, he's not being critical, just an observation. But no, he's definitely made a huge impact since he's come back from the ankle injury.
Clarence Hill, All City, DLLS. You guys? You talked about Michael coming back, but the defense has steadily improved, and you continue to have guys out. I know it's next man up is what you're talking about, but still you're missing guys. And what's been the key to the dramatic improvement on defense?
Oh, I just think it's a combination of things. I think clearly the connection, the understanding is so much higher than we were early in the season. And I think just like anything on offense or defense, it starts in the run game. We've been able to, the run defense has really improved. Where Mike's been able to, get to the pressure packages and I just think our guys are playing with so much more energy. Is that just me or? Okay, yeah. It's not the sun. Let's not start that. We're well past that.
So. They're playing with more energy because they're more comfortable.
Confidence. Yeah, I mean, confidence is the fuel that makes all this thing. I mean, when you win, that's you don't win games not being confident. So yeah, I mean, just the confidence and the everyday and the understanding. Like I said, this team has done a really good job of staying after it. During the preparation parts of it, and the improvements come weekly. And defense is a good example of that.
Mike Todd Archer with ESPN. Beyond his on-field stuff, what does Jordan Lewis mean to this team?
Stud. Just a stud of a man, stud of his personality. I just love his combativeness, his toughness, and he's the same every day. I mean, he just wears it on his sleeve. And that's you could arguably say it's the biggest play that we've had this year. That was just such an incredible interception, particularly at that time in the game. But that's Jordan Lewis every day, and that's what he means to our football team.
And then with Leafau and the green dot, have you given it to a rookie much before? Do you remember? How do you do with handling all that stuff?
No, he's doing a really good job. I think just the way, Mike has, brought him along, with just first getting comfortable, in the sub, then the base, and so I think the process of him not have to do it, right out the gate was obviously very important. But I think he's done a really good job.
John Machado with The Athletic. I think for some it would be easy to say, hey, you're eliminated from the playoffs. What is there to still play hard for? And obviously the team did that yesterday. Is that something that you should just expect from professional athletes, or do you think that there's something particularly about this team of why they wouldn't give in on something like that?
No, I think it's definitely, specific to our football team. I think it's important to play the right way each and every week, and it's hard. I mean, it's hard to win a game in this league, regardless of the circumstances of where you are in the playoff picture. But it's your pride is on display. Each and every time you step out onto that field, and pride matters. And I thought our men reflected that last night.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Buccaneers. You've coached against him. Now you've been with him this year. Considering what he hasn't had, is this one of his better coaching jobs in terms of just getting guys going every week?
Yeah, definitely. I think just like anything, you're always looking for progress. It's unfortunate that we didn't, squeeze out of a couple of those games early, because we definitely had some opportunities. But the one thing I've always looked for, and it's part of the training regiment, as far as how you schedule, how you train, how you try to build the rest of recovery. You try to do everything you can to get the team to play its best football at the end of the year. So, and we're doing that right now. I think we've played really good football here the last month. And we need to finish it. We need to finish it these next 2 weeks. We've got 2 division games, and because this will help everybody, players, coaches, pay it forward, because that's what you have to do to win it all in this league. You got to play your best football coming out, it's in December going into January. So, that's definitely an experience we can draw from.
I'm impressed with you that Mike was able to get those 2 young linebackers, Nick and Maris, just to play almost the majority of the game last night. Yeah,
definitely. Nick's, just what he's done, just the whole year. He's done a nice job on special teams, just with the practice regimen. But, Marist is, he's a special young man. I mean, it's you can see that just the energy that he brings, and his understanding and comfort's only going to improve and get higher as the more he plays. So he definitely has impactability and gives you a nice dimension, from the inside linebacker position, because he obviously can get out and play on the edge, and he's done that in college. He's has that capability of doing it here for us also.
Josh.
Mike, Josh Tolentino, Lone Star Live. In the fourth quarter yesterday, how do you kind of balance clock management, time of possession when you're within Brandon's range, but you opt to punt and play defense there, up 2 scores?
Within his range?
Yeah.
What is his range? We're still trying to figure that out. So, no, I think just like anything, there's more factors in going for the long field goal. Also, you got to play the other side of it. But I think clearly the decision, and it ended up being the right decision, just the confidence that I had in the way our defense was playing.
And then just on Brandon, what have you noticed just about like his consistency all throughout the season, but especially on a night where he knocks 3 from 50 plus?
I think Brandon's numbers really speak for themselves. I can't tell you how consistent he's been since he's been here, and just the way that the football comes off his foot so consistent. And obviously we have a ton of confidence in him, and he made all the kicks and the opportunities, and he makes a 58-yarder look pretty easy.
Ed.
Mike Ed Werder, WFAA. Because it's so unusual for someone of your stature to work the final year of a contract, and out of sensitivity, it's not asked of you often, but Jerry offers his opinion when he's asked about it all the time. As you get toward the end of the season, how eager are you to have some kind of resolution personally?
Eager? I do believe in time and place, and this is not the time or the place for me to speak on it. Really, my focus is more about the staff their concern is higher for me because change is something that happens in our league, all the time, and it's part of the. It's part of this industry, and I understand that. But I am at a different point in my life, but I'm more focused on them, and I know that the best way to help everybody is to take care of what's in front of us, and that's why the commitment, the pride, and in the road that we now have to go because of what happened yesterday. So I think it benefits everybody for me just to stay on course.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, also Dallas. You talked about Nick Vigil earlier. He's a guy that's been limited in practice a lot or didn't practice a lot and was able to obviously play a lot yesterday. Just what does he have to do to be able to play, and then how just reliable has he been to have a guy like that behind Aiyuk that you can?
Yeah, it's unique without a doubt. I've gone through it with veteran players in the past. You've seen it. I can remember. First player I watched go through it, offensive tackle by the name of Glenn Parker. Just what he went through each week to play back in the '90s. So it's remarkable what these men do on a weekly basis. If you'd have been in the training room this morning, you just, that was a physical football game last night. So and it was definitely reflected, just the way our guys were going through the treatments and so forth. So. But yeah, it's what Nick does is unique, and I think it's also a credit to the medical and training staff and Mike Zimmer, and just we know what we need to do to get them ready, and also put John Fossil in that conversation also because Nick's been an outstanding contributor for us on special teams.
Earlier this season, we talked about turnovers and kind of the lack of generating compared to the year before. Obviously, that's changed. Last night, you guys had 2 literal takeaways. How much you talked about confidence earlier with the defense? How much does that confidence maybe also play in the turnovers and kind of forcing it?
It's a big part of it, and I'm a huge believer. You get what you emphasize. We've really cranked it up. Because it wasn't where it needed to be early in the year. We taking care of the football is part of that conversation, and that's critical to winning. Stats really speak for themselves. But I thought our guys flew around and were clawing at the ball. Not only the ones that we did get, but also I thought our takeaway opportunities were where they needed to be. Because you got to get yourself in position first, and the more shots you have at the plate, the more you're going to get. So we're definitely doing a much better job in that area right now.
Saad Yusuf, The Athletic. Mike, when you were a young assistant and growing through the ranks until you got to Green Bay, what were some culture aspects of the programs that you worked in that stood out to you that you looked at and said that this is what you want to implement when you do become a head coach?
Just a lot of the basics. Every organization is different. The personality of the head coach is different. I was fortunate, and it's something I think really helped shape me was I always worked for defensive head coaches. So, their approach, their mindset towards their view of how the game should be played, I think it really helps you in game management, looking at things from the other side of the fence. So I would say that, but the reality of it is the consistency, accountability, the work ethic, just all the key instrumental points that you have to have in a healthy culture.
And just because you mentioned him so often, Marty Schottenheimer, what stood out to you about his program's culture and what he did?
Everybody knew exactly where they stood. There was never any gray area. Conflict was welcomed. Conflict was good. Confrontation and just getting to the bottom of things. And probably the most important thing was the demand and details. That's something that Marty was big into, and he respected everybody and his appreciation, particularly him being a former player. Just the love that he had for his players. He definitely wore it on his sleeve.
Spade Lockberg, 105.3 The Fan. Understanding it wasn't a playoff game and it wasn't a game that got you into the playoffs, but given Tampa Bay 4 straight wins, Sunday Night Football, was that as gratifying, maybe a win for you as it's been in a while? Yeah, definitely. It's the most gratifying win that we probably had all year. Because of that was a punch in the gut. With the Philadelphia Washington game. So, but. I just thought our guys just stayed the course and went out and played. I mean, it's exciting to play at AT&T Stadium. It's exciting to play on Sunday Night Football. So, and at the end of the day, that football team was, like I said, I thought it was on film in the preparation phase
going into the game, I think it was clearly one of the better teams we played this year. I was very, very impressed with the way they've been playing. So it's an offense that's very balanced. They do a good job getting the ball distributed to their playmakers. Defense is a challenge. That front seven is everything we thought it would be, and schematically they're a challenge. So, we were ready to go play a hell of a football game, and I think it's clearly what happened last night. We got it done in the end.
Okay.
There was so much talk earlier about when people were thinking you were out and whether you should play Trey Lance, and you were planning to win and planning to still with the playoff berth. Now that it's over, it's all about winning? Do you think about guys for next year? We need to find out what this guy is out of his contract. What's the mindset here?
The mindset's to win. We're going to Philadelphia to win the game. We're viewing it as it's a division game. It's a rival game, all those things. It's going to be exciting to go up there. The crowd's going to welcome us with open arms like they always do. So we're fired up about that too. We're going there to win, and that's something I think is clear to everybody. We got it's Christmas week, so the work week's going to be a little different this week. But we'll get all the work in just like we would on any other week. But yes, we're playing this game to win.
From an organizational standpoint, for a guy like that, there's an investment in him. You gave him a fourth-round pick. Do you need to find out what he is before he gets free agency? Or is that something that is anybody's mindset?
Well, the evaluation process goes on all the time. It would benefit. I think it's a very fair question. Playing in games, but we feel really good about what we do every day. How we train and all the things that go into it. So, but right now is we're game planning. I'm going right to third down as soon as I get done from here, and so like I said, we're going to line up and try to build off the win we had last night.
Mike, you mentioned their front seven. What would you put the run game issues on? It seemed like it either between tackles or wide, it was hard to get much going.
Coaching, just put it on the coach. You guys have been too nice to me today. So, no, they're tough. That's the way they play. If just you look at the run defensive calls that they have. The 5-man lines, the 6-man lines. So it's definitely something that we just got to continue to work on. We're going to get some of it this week in Philadelphia. It's really the way the league's gone, frankly. First and second down, just that defenses are doing so much more as far as front variation, and they got some dynamic pieces too. I thought that their D line played well, and so it's definitely wasn't the performance we were looking for, and we need to, which we have been today. Just what can we apply moving forward to Philadelphia, because we got another excellent front that we're getting ready to play.
All righty. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.